I assume Ashley's on.
I am. Good
Hello.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I hope it's a whole lot less smoky over there than it is here.
Yeah, it's not very smoky here. Pardon? Yeah, it's hot.
It is hot. Yes, it is.
All right, it is 5:30. So I will call this meeting of the Chubbuck Development Authority to order. First off, are there any conflicts of interest on anything on the agenda that anybody may have? Hearing none. We'll move on. I think you all should have a copy of the minutes for our May 19th meeting. If anybody has read those, I would
I
entertain.
read those and move they be adopted as printed.
Okay, we have a motion by Keller and second by Denny. Would you please call roll, Joey?
Despostis,
Here.
Please.
What?
Aye.
Oh, aye, sorry.
Yes, sir.
you're good. Danny,
Yes.
Toon,
Yes.
Heiner,
Yes,
Keller.
Yes.
if you're voting approval or.
Oh, I thought we
negative.
did, I thought he did roll call.
No, that's the roll call.
Okay.
He does a roll call vote.
All right, got it.
Okay. And he has to do it. It's. Okay, very good. All right, item number 1. Board of Review Administrative and Ministerial Claims for May and June. I think those are in the packet. Trying to remember where those are. Page 7. Yes, thank you. Ashley, you want to review those?
There's really,
Actually, we don't vote on those. We're just reviewing
Yeah.
those. I forget. I always forget that. That these are already done,
those are already completed. Yes, sir.
really completed. It's just for our notation and for the file and the minutes. Okay. Item number 2, board review of the financial reports for June.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in your packet is the June financial report. I'll review the balances as of June 30th with you for our different districts. So in the general fund, we have $163,609. In the Pine Ridge District, we have $79,363. In Northside Crossing, we have $74,274. And Harvest Springs, we have $50,377 for a total balance of $367,623.
Okay. Any questions, comments? All right.
We will need approval of claims.
Pardon? We only have to prove the claims?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was moving on to. The claims are next, item number 3, the claims for July.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, in your packet is the 3 claims that we have for July as of July 14th. We have Racine Olson at $2,000, AF Public Solutions at $1,035, and Clifton Larson Allen at $1,299.77, for a total of $4,334.77.
Joey, what you have that for is June. We're going over July.
There we go.
Scroll down a little bit more. Yeah, go back up, page 13, I think. Sorry. No, there we go, right there. Nope, that's June. Well, it should be, is it down? Right there, 22, there we go. Okay, that's the number she just read over. Okay. We do need a motion to approve those.
I just have a quick question. Clifton Larson Allen is our accounting firm, right?
That is
Yes.
correct.
Okay, perfect. And then Deaton is who's conducting the audit.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, given that, I'd move to accept the claims as presented.
I was hoping to ask a quick question, Mr.
Sure.
Chair.
Go ahead.
Is there a reason why we don't have more of a line item? I see numbers here. I'm just curious if there's a reason why we don't have a little more of an explanation posted out here on terms of billing.
This is basically what we have that's approved on a monthly basis for their things. The only one that's basically, well, Racine Olson, that is 2,000 a month all the way. AF Public Solutions, that is Ashley. And she provides a statement on that, that I review and approve. And then Clifton Larson, they send those and I review those as well. Those are approved by me and Ashley and all the details on those.
Okay.
Do you want to see the details?
I just get a little apprehensive when I see a bunch of numbers and I'm not sure exactly what I'm proving, so I was trying to do my due diligence.
Okay,
Mr.
thank you.
Chair, so.
Yeah, we have reviewed all of those invoices and everything. I reviewed those and signed off on them, and she has as well.
Okay.
So these are basically just the totals of that.
Okay.
And these are pretty much monthly. We have these same things that they may vary a little bit depending upon the hours and the time that's put in and that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just a reminder that this procedure to do this was approved by the committee, that it would be presented to the executive and you have prior approval and then present it to us. So that's the procedure that has been followed.
Yes, thank you. All right, any other questions, comments? Okay. And then, Chris, did you make a motion, right? Okay, so that motion is still in place. Is there a second?
Second?
Okay. Please take a roll. Joey?
Heiner,
Yes.
Tune,
Yes.
Danny,
Yes.
Desfossis,
Yes.
Keller.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Those are approved. All right, item number 4 on our agenda is Josh Ellis, presentation update on 152 Evans Lane.
Josh Ellis, 12883 Level Lane. I provided the letter on where we're at to give you an update of where we're at right now. Acoustic Specialties, Inc. here locally is doing all of the metal stud framing right now. The brick will be all but done by midweek next week. It's about 70% done right now. I gotta love my HVAC guy. He's a nice guy. 3 of the 4 heating units are in, but we are waiting on the 4th. We're trying to track it down. Nobody seems to know where it's at. The 3 of them will be installed next week. We will start doing the courts next week on Tuesday. We will be in the Chubbuck Days Parade. We will start doing tours of the facility for people. We are anticipating opening in October. We are working with some people on looking at a hotel that we would bring in one of the sites. So that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. Any questions from anybody? All right.
It always seems to take longer than I want. The big challenge will be whether or not that 4th unit shows up. My subcontractors have been doing a good job of coming in phases. Provided that that 4th unit comes in, we will have essentially all of the courts done. Courts will be done, everything on the mezzanine will be done. We will just be finishing the stuff in the front. We're expecting the framers to be done. They said end of next week, they should be done with the framing on the 2nd level. They're supposed to be out of the base or out of the main floor by the end of this week. I'm not anticipating any huge delays. We're pushing people in as quick as we can. And actually, I have people stacked in on top of each other. So as soon as the framers are done, the electrician will be moving the wires in there, but he's actually already done all of the stuff in the main part of the building. So can I promise you no delays? No, I can't.
No.
I'd make a liar out of myself. At this point, so for the siding, we ordered the siding when we were told to meet our time frame. I have 2/3 of the siding, but I'm missing the actual critical piece of the siding that goes up, the largest part of it, so I can't start putting the siding on. I am anticipating that delivery drop to hopefully happen at the end of this week. There was a manufacturing defect, and these are the panels that are, you see them on a lot of your car dealerships. So they are very detail oriented. You have to stack them a very specific way. And they sent us an email and said no, so that put us on a delay. As soon as that happens, we will start putting the siding on. I'm expecting the entire exterior of the building to be done about mid-August, based off of that siding showing up sometime this week or next week. We'll be able to start putting the siding on, and the rock is there. That's kind of what we have. I know people are anticipating it, and so are we, in case you're wondering.
Good.
Any other questions? Sorry.
All righty.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, agenda item number 5. Presentation on the RFP response on 339 Chubbuck Road by Seasons West. Ashley, do you want to take that?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, in your packet is a memo related to the RFPs for the 2 sites that we placed out a few months ago. For 339 East Chubbuck, we received 1 response, and that is by Seasons West. This response was reviewed by the project committee for the CDA, and they will be willing to make a recommendation this evening to the board in terms of how they think this should move forward. Tonight, Seasons West is supposed to be there. I apologize, from the view that I have, I can't see if they're here or not. Oh, someone's here. Great.
Yeah.
And so I've asked them to give just a very quick high-level overview of what their response to the RFP was. And allow you all to ask questions. And then the committee will then ultimately make a recommendation to the board. The board then has the capability to either accept that recommendation or to go another way. And with that, I assume that's Bart that is at the podium, and I will turn that over to him.
Actually, Mark.
Mark, sorry.
Yeah, so my name is Mark Adolphson. I'm the owner of Seasons West Landscaping. Ashley, do you have the map here available we could look at?
Mark, I gave
Yes, I
the
did.
clerk everything that you sent me, including your response along with the photos. So he has that and it has the capability to pull those up.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Okay. And I don't know if all you members have been able to read the proposal, or want me to kind of go through it with you, or?
Yeah, we've all received it in a packet. I don't know how much review we've done. Yes.
Okay.
Mark, I would just walk through it with the board
Yeah.
if you wouldn't mind, especially for the public record.
Okay, sure.
Oh, way up.
It's included in this packet that you sent out, Joey.
Oh, the map is?
Yes. That one right there.
There we go.
Is that one you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the property outlined in yellow obviously is the piece we're talking about. I own the property basically right there where the cursor is, and then everything south of that to the auto body shop. So when this property came available, we thought it would basically help clean up our property for future development, so forth. We looked at different ways. Yeah, there's a picture of the lot there. That's where they had that fire a few years ago. Basically, there's a big hole there.
Right.
So our proposal was to basically fill the hole and compact it with, compactable fill, clean the site up, and then put a fence around it. With future ideas of making our property more desirable as a development in the future. The property itself is only 50 feet wide, so it would be pretty difficult to use it for, if it was a separate property. So we didn't think, we were looking at it just as a combination of that with ours would make it a more desirable property.
It has ingress, egress, and you can get in, it has ingress, egress there, you can get in and out of it there.
Yes, yeah. So, it could be an exit, in the future, which, the way I see it, you would only be able to come in one way in and one way out. So with that crossing there, and I think there are some future plans of, I don't know if they're going to put an island there or a lot or, a light or, I think last conversation with Bridger, they do have some plans for changing that. I don't know if that changes the traffic pattern or what, but
Yeah. I'm not sure.
definitely limit the in and out of that area. So, but basically our offer was to, I got some estimates to fill the hole and compact it. And that came in between 17 and 20,000. And then we would clean it up, fence it, and basically keep the weeds down and, just bring it in as our property as a whole for future. So.
So basically, the way we show this offer here is pay 18,000 for this, and then you would take care of the compacting, the demolition, and
Yes.
repairing or getting.
We would pay for that plus an additional $18,000 for the property.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
We felt that that was probably a fair amount for us to pay for. There is some value there for
Sure.
us, and we acknowledge that. So the two combined prices was kind of right in line with what we thought would work for us.
All right.
We'd be willing to pay. And then, yeah, that's really was our offer. And I sent some other photos of basically the property directly east of that, across the tracks. Which that property, from what I can see, is pretty well built out at this point. So, we're not developers. We bought that property a short time before they changed the building codes and turned it into the village.
Right.
So, we own a landscape construction business, and that really wasn't our plan, but we agree with, what has to happen, in the future. So right now we're more looking at it as just a future development for someone, and probably not me, but whoever we sell it to, or but
Do you have any kind of a time frame in mind on that?
on the
On
development portion of it.
development, yeah, or reselling it or moving
You
it
know,
on, or-
our direct
is it-
goal is just to get it all cleaned up and, get the lines squared up. And then, we are looking to either develop it or get rid of it here in the,
Yeah. That's basically what our position is we'd like that to get developed
yeah,
as soon as possible and,
yeah.
you know, add to the value there and you know, on the tax rolls and kind of get
Yeah.
things moving along. So we don't want this to just sit for a long period of time.
Yeah, for sure. So as far as the cleanup and the filling and the fencing, I think we can accomplish that within 2 months, 60 days. So I didn't want to put just an open end, no time frame on it for you guys, so.
Okay.
That was, I guess that's kind of where we're at, so.
All right. Anybody have any questions? Do you have anything, PJ?
Have one question. Is 2 months ample or, so, when we convey property for redevelopment, it does have some strings attached in terms of like timelines and things like that. So, I want to make sure we give you enough time to do the demolition and the cleanup. Are you comfortable that 2 months is no problem or?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. So.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
TJ, will we be ready to bring back the necessary documents to our August 18th meeting for this?
Yeah, so, on that note, what we've done in the past when we do an RFP is the project that's selected, we start with an agreement to negotiate exclusively. It's just a period of time that we spend putting together a purchase agreement and going through those terms and all of that. So it's kind of a two-step process. We do an agreement to negotiate exclusively, followed by a purchase agreement. In this instance, where there's not somebody waiting in the wings and it's a really straightforward project, it might make sense just to go right into the purchase agreement. So I'll work on that, and Mark, I'll be in touch with you and hopefully have a draft that we could present to the CDA for approval at our August meeting.
Okay. Sure.
Sound good, Ashley?
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
So saying you do approve this, you think we could have a go-ahead like August, like mid-August or something?
We have a special meeting on August
18th.
18th. Yeah.
So the purchase agreement has to be approved by the CDA board, and then we can execute the purchase agreement and close as, as quick as you want to close.
Okay.
And then once it's closed, then you can proceed with the demolition and cleanup.
Okay. All right, yeah. That's plenty of time on our end.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? All right. Mark, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Having heard that, item number 6 is potential action item to move this forward. What would you like to do?
I think it's a way, or I move that we move forward with the RFP that's been presented and start the process for closure on it. Is that the right wording,
I think so.
TJ? Do we
Just-
need to put in the 2 months or that's after the?
I think that's okay, but probably wording to accept the recommendation of the project committee and move forward with the Seasons West proposal.
Right.
Okay.
And the project committee has met. We have reviewed this. And I think Christie, you're part of that. I think the recommendation was to move this forward to approval.
You got it?
Okay. So that being said, you ready?
Oh, yeah, that was my motion. so-
Okay. All right. Thank you. You want to second it?
Motion,
All right. So Rick made a motion, second by Brandon Desfosses.
yeah, motion to approve.
Denny? Tune?
I'm gonna abstain.
Heiner,
Yes.
Keller,
Yes.
Desfosses.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. All right, motion clears. We will move that forward. Thanks, Mark. Okay, let's see, where's the rest of my agenda here?
No, you're good.
No, we're good.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 7. Draft for fiscal 2027 budget.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. We were going to talk about 260 East Linden on item number 7.
On my agenda, it says 8. That came after the action, that other one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I must have not updated the PDF for you all. I'm sorry. My apologies.
My agenda says 7, so.
Oh, okay. I guess I've got an older one. Okay, action item number 7, talk about 260 East Linden Road.
So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we did not receive any proposals for this property. This is the second time this property has been out for a request for proposals, and without anything moving forward. So the committee discussed, what are the possibilities in moving forward? Wanted to bring this to the board today to see how would you all like to handle this? There has been discussion as to whether or not maybe the city would be interested in acquiring this property. I think there's a lot of open-ended conversations that could occur this evening. And Mr. Chairman, I do believe you were supposed to have a conversation.
I did have a conversation with the mayor
Okay.
and several different ideas were presented. And actually, my intent on this was to basically table this for right now until I can get more definition on, or definitive information on some of the things that the mayor was talking about and presenting that he is working on to come up with a proposal in the near future. So that being said, I guess my intent was to table this item for right now and bring it back within probably before our next meeting in August. Or at least have some discussions between you and I and maybe TJ.
That sounds great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So that being said, we'll table that item. And so I'm not sure what item we're on now because,
We're on the draft work session.
okay, let's do that work session. I won't worry
It
about
was an
the item.
action item. Do we need to move that? We're not going to discuss that then?
We'll just table it.
Well, there
We don't have to move
needs to be a
that.
motion.
Do we need to have a motion to table?
No, it was just potential action item. It doesn't require a motion.
You don't have to take action just where it says action. You just can't take action if it doesn't say action.
Okay.
Before we table, I have a question and I
Yes.
think that it's worth bringing up. It's my understanding that we acquired that property for the intent to build this facility. And then those, I guess, 2 other parcels were kind of left over. So I wonder if we're giving it back to the city.
Well, giving it back to the city is I guess, a different thing. One of the reasons, I guess, that because the city hall had this right here and the city itself can't sell or dispose of property. That's why the CDA kind of took this on, because the CDA has the ability to do that.
The CD actually never purchased the property that City Hall sits on.
Okay, so
Ci-
was that a
City,
lease
the city
purchase?
the city purchased the property that City Hall sits on and the grounds. The CDA purchased the property around City Hall property, which includes the 2 roads that the CDA built.
Okay,
But this property was never purchased by the CDA. You just purchased the land surrounding it.
Okay. It,
And there
when
were
I
some,
first saw the parcel, those two little
those pieces on
leftover
the side.
pieces were a part of the original parcel.
You used to own the property along Burley Drive that is on the east side of City Hall, on the other side of the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And you used to own the property on the west side that's on the other side of the sidewalk. And you put both those out for RFPs. You donated this side for a park. And then because you didn't get any RFPs, to the one on this side that was donated with, but there's an agreement between the city and the CD, like it can't be sold or.
Right. I'm talking way, 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 way before that.
Okay. Yeah, no, the city bought this, CDA bought those other two parcels.
There was an agreement, the city, because all this was one property, the city and the
that's what I'm
CDA
saying.
went in agreement. This is how much the city was purchasing, and this is how much the CDA was purchasing
Okay.
of the one property.
Yeah, when that whole thing was done, that's the way it was handled.
But the city purchased what City Hall is on. The
Okay.
CDA never purchased that.
But,
Yeah, this is the property we're talking about right now, yeah.
but it was, in my mind, and going back, it was never marketable. None of the properties were marketable. And that's why it's now a parking strip. And, I know they said it was for a park, but I don't think that was the CDA was gonna make it a park. Hopefully the city will be able to have a desire to turn it into a park, but I anticipate that
This,
it will be the same process that we've done in the past.
this west side property.
Yeah.
Well, initially, the initial RFP went out and we had, well, actually it was a CCOG that was looking to purchase it with a partnership from the university to build a facility there, but it just did not materialize and turned out to be some issues, and so that fell apart. So that's where we're back with it, trying to figure out something to do. And in my discussion with the mayor a week or so ago, he had some ideas, and there was a really nice map that he has in his office, and it looked like a really decent idea. And he has been doing some investigating about a way to partner with CDA to move forward and have us help develop that. But that's why I say I want to get some details on how this may work and whatever, other than just the idea. And he's talking with a public finance company to do some stuff. And once that can kind of get put together a little more detail, then I would potentially put it back on the agenda and bring back and talk about it.
Okay.
But there's not enough detail on there that I want to bring it here yet.
Sure.
But I think it has some merit based upon the conversation that we had.
And the city did get a grant from the Idaho Blue Cross, which put in the cornholes and the park benches
Right.
and things on that strip. That's kind of, that was their vision of a little bit of a parking or community space is with that grant, with the Blue Cross.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. All right. Let's see. TJ, do you have anything that you need to talk about, or?
Yeah, just a couple of things, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. One on the 152 Evans, that's the Josh Ellis project. You may recall that Josh came in last fall and requested an extension of the phasing deadlines under his development and disposition agreement.
Yes.
And his attorney reached out to me asking, where did that land? So I went back through the minutes from that meeting. It was in November. And at that time, he had requested an extension till the end of July to finish phase one, and the CDA did not actually grant it. So we decided to wait. There were some things, some balls that were up in the air. And so we need to address that through an amendment of his agreement to extend those deadlines. I just addressed this with his attorney over the last week, so we don't have that ready to present today. But at the next meeting in August, I expect they'll be coming and asking for an extension of the phasing deadlines for that project.
And it sounds like it's gonna be October.
It's probably gonna be October, yeah. That's what it sounded like today. So that's just an FYI as to, that kind of fell off my radar, but was brought back on this summer. Derek, do you have a question
Remind
about
me,
that?
wasn't it 5 phases? And I thought we took a firm stance that we were willing to do one, but on the others, we wanted to hold them to that. Is that?
Yeah.
Remember that correctly? or-
We're not gonna push
I don't-
all the.
I don't know what he'll come back with, like for the other phases, but the first phase for sure, you know, and yeah, it's not done yet, but we're getting close. So
Right.
that's good. So that's just an FYI on that. So that'll come up at the next meeting. The other thing I was gonna bring up, Dan, I emailed you about this, about the Brandon Ratliff owner
Yes.
participation agreement. I would be more comfortable just making sure that my understanding is consistent with the members of the board. At our May meeting, Brandon Ratliff, we approved an project for him to pay for the street light at Park Lawn, and we could reimburse it. And the CDA imposed some limitations, like we capped how much we would reimburse. And we had one other, my computer just locked. But anyways, so I put together the owner participation agreement as directed by the CDA and sent that to Brandon. And there was some challenges just figuring out the right legal descriptions with the title company. They weren't clear, and Brandon got me all the deeds, and we figured all that out. In fact, Joey, would you mind pulling up the map with his property on the corner of Siphon and Yellowstone? So the project application was in the name of Brandon and his parents. That's who's funding the streetlight improvement. That's who would be reimbursed. So all of that is proper. And you'll remember when the CDA agreed to support that project, we limited the revenue source to the Ratliff development property. So we were only using revenue tax increment generated from the Ratliff development to reimburse the cost of this light. And Joey's gonna pull up the parcel view here in a minute, and I'll show you what the Ratliff property is that's under development. It's it's a pretty big chunk on the corner of Siphon and Yellowstone. When I was going through the legal descriptions, several of the parcels have been sold to other folks, mostly entities that they control, that Ratliffs control. But I had in my mind that we were using tax increment from all of the Ratliff development property. So that's my understanding and expectation. And that's the way I've drafted the owner participation agreement, is that tax increment generated from the property they develop will be available to reimburse the streetlight, including parcels that they've already sold. And all that, so if you can see that map, all that property that's either farmland or it's kind of surrounded by the farmland, it's a big square. Joey, you can Joey's kind of outlining it for us. All of that is Ratliff property. So Ratliff's bought all of that property, and they've already began developing it. You can see the roundabout they've put in there, and there's some buildings already constructed. There's that like auto collision repair place that they've already developed that. So the way the OPA is drafted today, tax increment from all that property would be available to reimburse the traffic signal. I would just be more comfortable if all of you said, yes, that's what we thought too, even including the parcels that have been sold.
Right, that is what we thought.
Okay,
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
That was my understanding.
okay, so, that's mine as well, and that's how it's drafted. It's not been signed, but I've been working with Brandon and we're ready to proceed with signing that. But I thought since, that issue came up, I would bring that to your attention and just see if folks had any questions or concerns with that.
I recall that he wants the money up front, and And we're doing it as reimbursement, and that's the only way we can do it, isn't it?
It is.
Correct, yeah.
And he understands that.
Yep.
We've made that clear.
Okay, we'll get that wrapped up.
All right, yeah, I did get that. I have it with me. I just briefly scanned through it. I haven't read the whole thing yet. But yes, thank you.
I sent Dan and Ashley an email just with my analysis and recommendation there, so
Okay, thank you.
that's all I've got, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Ashley, do you have anything?
Mr. Chairman, we need to go back to the draft budget
Oh, yes, we do.
because we do need some action on that this evening.
Very important.
Minor issue there, Ashley. It's a minor agenda item.
Just minor. And I will keep it pretty short because I tried to put everything in my thinking down on paper for you. So I'm not going to waste your time with reading all of that. What I am going to just remind this board, for some of you who have not gone through a budget process, we have to go through this work session this evening. The important numbers, everything beyond the total revenues and the total expenditures, that's the numbers that we have to agree on. Everything else that can shift throughout the year in terms of line items, et cetera. We have that capability as an urban renewal agency. So really the numbers the one number that's really important this evening for both revenues and expenditures is that I'm sorry.
I was just telling Joey to go to your spreadsheet.
Oh,
There.
thank you.
Yeah,
Is
Going
so
through
the
them weeds.
the important number tonight is $928,171. That's the important number for this evening. So when it comes time to create budgets for urban renewal agencies, we kind of draw the short end of the stick because we don't have real numbers to work with at the time that we actually have to work through this process. We have to have our budgets approved by the end of August, so published and everything. Whereas the other taxing entities, they have until September 15th to set their levies and to adopt their budget. So that puts us in a really precarious situation. So what I do is I do the best that I can. And so, at today, as I mentioned in the notes, I don't have our year to date. I won't have that year to date number for all of our districts until probably 7 to 10 days away from today. So, and unfortunately, that does not work with our time frame to get this adopted by August. So what I have done is I'm using my best educated guesses based on doing this for 16 years with urban renewal agencies. I know that we get about 60% of our revenue in January with that revenue payment. And I know it's about 40% typically, plus or minus a little bit in July. So that is how I proceeded. So with trying to figure out what the carryover is for each of the districts, and then for the forecasting for fiscal year 27, which begins in October, that's kind of a crapshoot at this point. Again, you do your best educated guesses. The good news is if we are off and we find out in November once levies are certified and we understand what the total property valuations are for those districts at that time, and it looks like we're going to be off significantly, we can always come back and do a budget amendment. So that's the good news. None of this is set in stone forever if we're off. So for fiscal year 27, I am estimating $300,000 in revenues for the Pine Ridge District, $250,000 in revenues for the Northside Crossing District, $75,000 in revenues for the Harvest Springs District, and $200,000 in revenues for the Yellowstone Corridor District. Fiscal year 27 is the first year that we will receive revenue for Yellowstone Corridor. And I based that number specifically off the economic feasibility plan that we adopted as part of our specific plan as per the ordinance. So in terms of project expenditures, Pine Ridge Mall, the interest, the debt service, and the trustee payment, 100% of this goes to the developer. We end up getting a $15,000 administrative fee after we've given them all of the funds. And these funds, the 15,000, are applied to general fund dollars. For Northside Crossing and Harvest Springs, we have OPAs, or owner participation agreements, with both developers, where each developer gets 80% of the increment that their projects accrue. We get the 20% that is applied to administrative fees. And then for Yellowstone Corridor, as we just discussed, we have an OPA that we have agreed to. And so over time, this is going to be based on the TIF accrual for those properties. I am unable at this time to be able to get good information from Bannock County. So what I have done at this point is put aside $25,000 in a line item that we can start accruing. And then we'll just add to that each fiscal year until they come in for reimbursements. And then we'll reimburse based on the increment that we receive for those properties. Everything else in the Yellowstone district will go into uncommitted funds. And so once we have professional services kind of paid for through their proportionate share, there's about $143,000 that's left over in uncommitted dollars for the next fiscal year, assuming that $200,000 in revenue is correct. And then lastly, we have uncommitted general funds. And these are the categories for monies that were carried over from fiscal year 26. This is the estimated interest in all the accounts except for Pine Ridge Mall. And this is the administrative dollars the CDA receives from the other URDs. So the 20% we just talked about for Harvest Springs and Northside Crossing. So again, all of this can shift a little bit, but the important number and what I need your approval of tonight is the total revenue expenditure numbers estimated to be $928,171. And I'll stop there to see if there's any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
To understand right, we look at the total revenues and the total expenditures, or just the revenues?
Well, they
We
have
look
that.
at both.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you scroll down to that next page, then you see that bottom line number is the same.
Yeah.
See that?
And so, Mr. Chairman and board members, if this number is acceptable to you, a motion is needed to publish the proposed budget per the statute and to approve the scheduling of the budget hearing on August 18th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m.
Ashley and I have had a prior conversation, and I believe she's had another conversation with TJ. And so we're acceptable of it. And our time frame makes it so we need to move forward if you're good with that.
And like I said, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, when we get the final numbers from the county in late November, if we're off, we can go make adjustments at that time. That's not a hard process to do.
I move to adopt the Chubbuck Development Authority fiscal year 2027 budget then.
And agree to publish this. Okay, we have a motion by Toon. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Desfosses. Joey, go ahead.
Keller,
Yes.
Heiner,
Yes.
Tune,
Yes.
Danny,
Yes.
Desfosses.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay.
I do have a question,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. When you say, when you get the numbers in November and they vary, are you talking more about a material difference or just, you know,
Mr.
still in the ballpark, we're still okay, or do we have to wait till it's a material difference, or?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, if in November, when we get the final numbers and the certified levies, and it looks like I have underestimated what the numbers will be for the district, I don't believe I have, but if we do, and it looks like we're going to be expending more because we have those 80%, 20% splits for the OPAs, yes, we will need to go back and amend the budget at that time. If I have overestimated, then we don't have to make any change at all. We just need to be aware that we're not going to get the amount that we were hoping for or estimating, and we just have to adjust accordingly for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. We have that approved to move forward. Ashley, do you have anything else?
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I was just going to mention, we do have a project committee. I do know we're going to have 2 items for those of you who sit on the project committee. So hopefully you will be there. It looks like August 18th, our special meeting can be maybe a pretty stacked meeting as well. I assume we're going to have one budget amendment for Harvest Springs because I know with the estimating of just an additional 40%, that's going to put us over what we estimated. So from what I can already see at this point, we're going to have the agreement for 339 East Chubbuck. We're going to have the budget hearing for the fiscal year 27. We're going to have a fiscal year 26 budget amendment work session because we have to go through the same steps for an amendment. We'll have a discussion on 260 East Linden. We have a Josh Ellis amendment. And then I have potentially Harvest Springs. There is a property that was in the district, but is not underneath the current OPA. They are interested in an OPA and doing a development on that property. We'll learn more during the project committee. And in addition, the mayor, it has an idea that he would like us to consider regarding landscape. So if you have any time constraints regarding the 18th, please let me know in advance so I can plan out the agenda accordingly. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Looks like we got a lot of stuff in the works we haven't had for a while. Okay, thank you very much. I don't have anything other than what I brought up earlier, and I will get back with you on that. So with that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment. Yeah,
I'll move to adjourn.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you much.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate all your support and your time.